Hello everybody, welcome back to Grafted Designs. In this video I'm going to show you how we are going to add staircase, railings and make openings on the slabs. So we're actually going to make an opening in the first floor slab. The opening will be somewhere around this point here. So make sure that you follow for more. For those watching the video on TikTok and those watching the video on YouTube, please do subscribe to the channel. So let's start. We'll go to the ground floor. Let me just hide my elevations. Please do note that this is a newer version of archicad. This is archicad 26. So people using older versions may not usually have the same experience, but the procedure is somehow the same. So we are going to start by adding the staircase. So you'll go to the stair tool. This is the stair tool. You can press Ctrl T for the settings, or just click at this point there. Then make sure you change this to not linked. Then change the projection at this point to be at 0. Then come here. This is where how your staircase should start. So you should always start with the riser and also finish with the riser. That is the easiest. Then you are just going to select the length for your thread. So I'm going to go for 300. That is the default. Then I'm not going to adjust the riser height. This is where you adjust the riser height. It varies. For archicad, I see the maximum you can set is 168, which is not so bad after all. Then nothing much you can change here. The rules, you can't change anything there. Then go to structure. See, everything is fine there. Flight, something. So this is where we are actually going to set our waist thickness. Remember, we used a slab thickness of 150, so we'll have to use the waist to be 150. Then go to landing. It's also going to be 150. Then these ones I usually like to change the pen to this pen style to the number 2. Then activate these ones. Then you're actually going to change the material. I want them to be white, titanium white. Then we can actually proceed to the thread. This is where you actually do your thread settings. You can choose the nosing, the shape you want. Don't usually like interfering with this, so I just leave it at that. Then usually change this and this. Then override this one, then choose it, make it match with my floor covering. So I'm actually going for the turn. There's nothing much you can change here. Then riser, also change the pen style to this. Then override this surface here. Just go for tile turn 30 by 30. Then I think everything else is done. Don't think if I've left anything. Let me override it. Also here everything is already that, just check mark those ones like that. I don't think if I've left anything. I want this is actually where you set your flight width and landing width, same thing. So I want mine to be 1000 millimeters wide. Then just press OK. Usually I do sample first before, so that I know how my staircase will be, but I don't want it from that direction. I need to change the direction. I want this one. So then I'm just going to come go to where I want to place my stairs, then type the distance for the treads to the landing. So the first distance will be 2400, since I want only 8 treads at that point. 2400. Then select this landing here, type a distance of 200 and press enter. Then select the flight tool again, then now type 2700, because I want now 9 treads. 2700, sorry. Just press OK, and you will have your staircase placed like that. It's not exactly at the same place, at the exact point I wanted it to be, so I'm just going to drag it to the point I wanted it. So I want it at this point like that. Remember, we are having a wall here, that is why you can't see the number 19 here. So you can actually go check it in 3D how we've placed the staircase. In 3D, this is what we have. Then this is the wall I was talking about, because I placed a cloakroom under the stairwell, so wanted mine to match with the floor covering. That is why I changed everything. So this is the stair. What you want to do now, if you look upwards, you'll see that you can't move any further, so we are just going to create a hole in the first floor slab. So let me just escape this one. So we'll go back to our first stories. Then let me just hide the roof. I don't want to see it right now. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to use line tool, then just draw a rectangular shape here. Should not be exactly at that point. I should have made it a little bit larger, sorry. Should be solid. Let me see if I can elongate it. No, can't. So we'll just select the slab at this point. Select the slab, then any edge, then select this tool here, subtract from polygon, then holding the spacebar for the magic wand, you are just going to subtract it like that. But I also don't want this part here because I have a window here, so I'm just going to offset this edge using this tool. I'm going to offset it by 200 and just press OK. Like that, we'll have a slab placed, we'll have the hole made on the slab. So let's see what you're having in 3D. So this is now the upper floor. What you have for the upper floor. If you look down, you'll see the first flight. That is the first flight, the second flight, and we are on the upper floor slab. So now at this point, what you want to do, we can add railings. So I'm actually going to add railing at this point, this top balcony, first floor balcony, and this other side. I don't need railing here. You can also go ahead and add railing to the staircase. So let's see how we are going to go about that. Go to the ground floor plan, then just hide the elevations. Then design, railing tool. This is the railing tool. Press Ctrl T for settings. Height normally is 1700. The projection, this is why you actually set your projection. So you'll set it at that point to be at 0. So then you can go to segment. This part is the top rail, the handrail. These are the inner posts. Yeah, these are the balusters, sorry. These are the balusters. Then this is the inner post. You can actually set the way you want, but let me change something first. So just click here to do some settings first, because I want glass panel railing. This one here. Those are the ones I'm going to use for the first floor. So just press Ctrl T for the settings. So I'm going to remove this, the handrail. I only want the top rail. Subtract from that. Then I'm also going to subtract the rails to remove them. I'm also going to remove these balusters. Panels should be somewhere here. Should be able to add them just like that, and you will have your panels added. Balusters removed. Inner posts, yes, those inner posts are necessary. Nodes, not so much changes you can make here. Posts, I'm just going to go for none since I don't want any starting posts. Then let me go back to the inner posts. I want to do some settings. I want them to be like this, the railing post, this one 26, that is the one I want for that. Then do some settings. I want to override certain things. The shape, I want it to be rectangular or square. Then just press click, sorry. I want to override these ones. Color, always prefer this one. Then I'm actually going to change the material for the inner post to be aluminium. When I get to that point, we shall see about that. This is why you must check mark this, then change the material here. This is where you change the material. I want it to be metal aluminium. Then I'll go for the handrail, top rail, sorry, that is the one I had. So still that one, okay. Then top rail component settings, I wanted it to be like that. Maybe then the diameter, no, the length is the one I'm going to change to be something like, say, 40 millimeters. Then I want them to be related. So I'm also going to have this one to be 40. That material can actually, I won't change that one here right now. Then override this one to the pen style number 2. Everything to like that. Just override everything. Then make sure you check mark this. Then change the material to aluminum. Then at this stage I think you are good to go. The panels, can also change something on the panels. I just want this one, the glass one. Panel component settings. I'm not going to change very many things here. Just like that, we'll change all the pens to this one. Then we'll override this. Also override this. Then change this material here, panel. For the panel, we don't want it to be stainless steel. We want it to be glass, something glass. Glass. Let me go for this clear first. Then my fixing, just make it to be the same with the inner posts, that is the metal aluminum. Then just press OK. I forgot to change something. The ends, I'm supposed to adjust something. So for the top rail, I'm going to set the ending to be 0. So don't want any projection, and rails I don't have any. I don't have also any rails. So these ones by default will just be 0. Just press OK. Rail component, nothing, so that's okay. So we just come here, then place. And just draw it like that. Once you reach the point you want it to end, just double click, then it will be placed. Let's see what you have in 3D. So we have that one placed like that. Some people may actually change the material for the panels, but I will like mine being like that, so I'm going to add this one for this side. So I'll start at that point to the center, then double click at the point you want it to be placed like that, and we'll have our railings placed. So the next thing we are going to do, we're actually going to place the railing for the staircase, but for this one I don't want the glass panel, so change it here. I can just go for this metal railing, that, then do my settings. as I wish. So the segment, let me see what I'm having. Subtract this. I want the top rail, then I also want the handrail. You can add it somewhere here. Balusters, add them, then just do some slight settings just to adjust the parameters. So I'm going to start with the balusters, components, the type. Let me go for this cast iron. Sorry. For that, then go to settings, ending. Let me go for this for the ending, then override these pens. I'll also override this. For this one, I'm going to override the material from this one to be steel, not stainless, but just steel. Or we can actually go for something like chrome. Yeah, chrome will actually look better. So then go for the inner posts. I don't need them, so I can just remove them. Then what else do I need? For the handrails, you're also going to go for the chrome, so just go to the settings on this one, then handrail component settings, to be round for grip, then adjust the pens, change the pens for 2D. So I want everything in my drawing to be black and white. Change it also here. Then override this one. Metal will be chrome. Then you can actually change the settings for this one. Pattern settings. For distancing, I would want them to be, say, something like 200 millimeters apart. That is a little bit big, so let me go for 150. 150. The interval is not that big. For the top rail, I think the settings we had already done, so just press OK, then start drawing our handrail from this point. Then we'll actually get to this point, then make a turn. Then go until we get to this point here. Then we'll come back to this point. Then just let me adjust something for the ends. I forgot to adjust the ends, so just press. Then the ends for the top rail and the bottom handrail. Handrail 1 should be 0. That is the only ones I have. Those are the only ones I have. So just press OK, and voila, just like that. Have our handrails placed. Let me see what you have in 3D. So we'll actually have to move parts of the handrail. So what you are going to do is just create a staircase cross section. to adjust the nodes for each and every part of the stairs. So go to viewpoint section. I don't want to make any changes since I'm just going to delete the section after all, so I'm just going to go for this, then create the section at this point here, because this is where I want to make my changes from first. Then open the section I've created. So you're actually going to move this node like this to this point, 1350. Should be something like about that point, yes, 1350. Okay. Then the other node we are going to move. I think I've actually moved the wrong node. Yes, I've actually moved the wrong node. So let me also move this one the same distance, but it's still the same, 1350, because I was actually going to move it eventually at some point. Now the other node we have to move, we'll move this one. The distance will be 2850, because that was the floor to floor height for our building. Then also this one, the same distance, 2850. And I think just like that we shall have our railing placed. So let's see what you have in 3D. Let's just get in through this part. So that's how our railing looks. Forgot to change the material for the handrail. It's not looking bad, it's actually great. So I think I'm actually satisfied with it. I'll only have to move this door a little bit to the other side, so I'll move that later. But I think I'm convinced that this one looks great. So make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching.